Would you like to create a course that students actually want to complete? Completion is really important, and completion rates are generally down. Why? Because people join a course with all this enthusiasm, but they rarely ever get to the end because life gets in the way. When they don't complete the course, and completing the course really does not mean going through every lesson, but getting the results. But if they don't know, they will not implement until they check all the lessons. But in order for them to get the results and for you to get the feedback so that you can draw more people into your course, you need to create an introduction. A powerful introduction for any course is a guarantee that your students will not only complete the course as much as they are able to complete it, but what's more important, they will take out of this course what they need and implement it. And once they implement it, they can give you the feedback that is going to help other students enroll and get similar results. So let's talk about what to include in the introduction. And if your online course does not have the introduction, you might want to reconsider it after this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Elena Mutonono. I am a business coach for online language teachers who want to move away from exhausting one-to-one classes and work more sustainably so that they can make more money in less time. If you are interested in several formats that you can implement today to move away from one-to-one classes and start this process, you can check out my free Smart Teachers Kit. The link is in the description. All right, so let's talk about 3 things that you absolutely must include in your introduction. It doesn't matter what your course is on, whether it's on grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, maybe it's about application for a job, maybe it's about doing an interview in a language that's not your own. You need to have the introduction, because if the introduction is not there, students will likely not get from the course what you wanted them to get. Component number 1, you need to set expectations. Set expectations for your students and set expectations for a successful completion of the course. What does that mean? Well, successful completion of the course is not always 100% completion of the course. Successful completion of the course is defined by what you want your students to take away and how you want them to apply it in their lives. So, for example, if you have an extensive job interview course where you are helping your students build confidence on how to speak during the job interview, you can set the expectations in the introduction by telling your students where it's best for them to start, depending on where they are on the journey. Some people might have their job interview tomorrow, and they may not want to go through all the lessons where you teach them how to prepare for the job interview, what to put together. Maybe it's something that just came up for them and they need something that they can do quickly to get the results, to feel more confident about their upcoming interview. And you can talk about that in the introduction. You can set the expectations for your students. Another important thing that teachers struggle with is recognizing and accepting that 100% completion rate is not the same as 100% implementation rate. For example, if I take 3 to 5 lessons out of a 15-lesson course, if I learn from them, take the worksheets, fill them out, and implement them and get results that will impact the way I work, the way I speak, the way I express myself confidently, my completion rate is already 100% because I already got something valuable from this course. When you tell your students in the introduction what expectations they need to set for themselves, this is a really helpful thing for them to distinguish, because completing all the lessons does not guarantee that they are going to build confidence. Confidence, if that's what you're teaching in your course, is built by taking what you're learning and implementing. And if you tell them in the introduction how to do that and set those realistic expectations, your students are going to thank you after that. There are courses these days that I personally only complete 30%, but I believe that they have given me so much more because I have taken what I've learned and I implemented right away. So completing and checking the boxes is not everything. What matters more is how you take what you're learning and how you are implementing it. So set realistic expectations in your introduction so that your students are not overwhelmed by everything that's out there, and guide them where they should go depending on where they currently are. The second very important thing that I encourage the teachers who create online courses to have is a contract with yourself. This is an exercise to help your students prepare to be taking this course. Many times students are very enthusiastic about starting the course, but like I said, life gets in the way and they fall off the wagon pretty quickly. Now, many of them enter this new stage of their lives of learning without adequate preparation, without setting the time to take the course, without giving themselves permission to take breaks, without thinking about how they should change their schedule to free up more time. Because you cannot take on something new if you do not let go of something. And this is a very simple lesson that is at the core of the contract with yourself. What does that mean? What does commitment look like? What happens if your student does not live up to the commitment? How are you going to help them be ready for it? Can you give them a realistic look into their completion process? And when they sign this contract with themselves, which is a fascinating experience, they will have a better understanding, a better grasp of reality of where they are, where they need to go, and what is involved. Finally, the third thing that is really helpful on this journey to get your brain into the mode of building this momentum, of building the momentum for learning, is a tracker. Creating a tracker for the time that people decide to take this course is a visual reminder, an analog reminder for your students to do something on a regular basis. So, for example, they will be coming back to the course and completing certain classes, and after they complete this lesson, what is the assignment? And once they complete the assignment, it's really helpful to have a tracker for them to put it in the analog form and post it over their computer to see their progress. Once they see their progress, the brain engages and gets more excited, more fueled by this process. And it reminds us, right, builds this intrinsic motivation to go back and continue what you started. And this is what you want to build. And a tracker helps them achieve just that. So these are three things that I believe are super important anytime you're creating a course and you want your students to succeed when they take your course. You have put in so much time. Of course you want them to succeed. These are three things: setting realistic expectations, signing a contract with yourself, and the third one, creating a tracker. These 3 points are taken from my course that I'm currently developing called Teach Beginners Through Voice Chats. There are 5 elements of an excellent introduction that I cover in more depth in my course, and I offer you templates that you can download and use in your course introduction. So you don't have to think about, where do I find the tracker? How do I word a contract with myself? What expectations are realistic? What are not realistic expectations? How do I put it all together? You don't have to worry about this. I will prepare this for you. The course starts in just a few days. You can click the link in the description if you're interested and enroll. Not only will it help you learn how to teach languages to beginners using voice chats, it will give you in-depth take on how to write your introduction, how to set expectations for any course that you will create in the future. Another bonus inside the course will be what to do after the course is done, so-called conclusion to the course, the specific steps you want to take after the course is done so that you continue supporting your student and you continue learning from them and their learning experience. It's very important for your future course creation. So if you're interested, please check out the link in the description. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Please like and subscribe and share this video with another teacher who might be interested in creating online courses. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from you and connect with you.